Hello Year 8 and welcome back to what is now your fourth lesson in the Day of the Dead Layers project, and today you will need the work that we've started on, as it's a sequential piece of work that's been done over several weeks. You'll need your scissors, you'll need a pencil, rubber for any mistakes, and we'll need a glue stick. Right, today we should have finished the mouth by now, and we've done the eyes. And we're going to look at doing the nose, and then we're going to look at some of the embellishment on the face. Okay, so we'll make a start on that today, and then next week's lesson, hopefully we'll get a lot more of the embellishment done on the skull. Right, for the nose, similar to last week when we were doing the mouth, I've already cut some of my coloured paper from the pack into smaller sections, so it's easier to work with. I'm going to start with my outside shape for my nose, and I need to know how long the nose is from its tip to the furthest point down, which is the bottom of this curve. Right, once I have that measurement, I need to have an idea of the width. So I need the widest part of the nose, and I'm just going to mark that on my paper. Okay. I'm going to move those marks up so they are now in line with the height of the nose. Okay, so I should have one mark here, one mark there, and I've then got a width for my nose. What I need to judge is the halfway point between these two marks. And again, I could do that with a pencil, I could do it with my thumb, but I just need to judge halfway between those two marks. Oops. So I'm going to use my pencil, like we've done before, pinching the pencil on that line, judging where I think halfway is, and I can check that now. I can put a little mark there, and I can slide my pencil across, and if my thumb stops on that mark and the end of my pencil is in line with my width, then I know that that's halfway. Okay, so if I'm happy with that mark there, I'm going to move it up slightly to here, and I'm going to trace it up to the top of my shape as well. Right, I've got, so far then, a mark for the centre of the nose, the width of the nose, and I know the height of that shape. What I can do now is start to draw that curve onto my piece of paper. I'm going to bring that up to a point up here. Right, I have two options now. I can carry on drawing the shape on this side and bring it up here if I feel confident that my drawing is going to be accurate. The other option I have is on that halfway mark that I've marked up, I can fold a crease into my paper, like so, and I can cut out this shape that I have. Because I've folded the paper underneath, when I open it out, I should have a shape that is symmetrical and even on both sides. So if I open that out, I should now have a shape for the outer size of the nose. Okay, right, I also need then to do the shape on the inside. And I'm reflecting the same colours that I've got in the eyes and similar to the mouth, so that I've got that kind of harmony of colour at the moment on the skull. Okay, so similar to last time, I'm going to mark a height for the top of the inside of the nose and for the lowest point here. So that should give me a height for that shape. Again, take the width. If I go from the edge of the paper there, the widest point would be about this wide. Okay. can judge halfway again. Mark it on. And then I can draw that shape. Now again, if I do the same technique I've just shown you, I only need to draw half of the shape. And I can then fold where I've marked a halfway point. And I can cut through both pieces of paper so that I've got an inner design to go onto the nose. Okay, once I've got both done and I'm happy with them, I need my glue stick. Glue that one into place first, and then the smaller section, which is the inside shape for the nose, gets glued on top. Okay, and that's the nose done. Right, what I'm going to look at now is these two shapes on the cheekbones. So I'm looking at the flowers either side. Again, I've cut some paper into smaller sections. So I've done a strip for the petals, and I've just got an odd piece of blue that was left over, and just a small section of orange, because that's all I'll need to do the central part of the flower. For the petals, I'm going to just put my strip of paper up against one of the petals, and I'm going to take a height again. So I'm going to put the bottom of the paper at where the petal joins onto the centre of the flower, and I'm going to go for the highest point of my petal here. And similar to how we just did the nose, I'm then going to look at the widest point, and I'm going to mark that onto my piece of paper. I can now draw a petal shape using those measurements and those guides. Once I have that shape, similar to how I was doing my teeth last week, but we're going to do more folds this time, so I've literally taken my paper and I'm folding it underneath that petal shape. So that will give me 1, 2 petals. If I fold it again, I've got 1, 2, 3 petals. Fold it back again, it'll give me 4, and I need 5 petals, so I'm going to do one more fold. Okay, so I've literally just concertinaed the paper like that. Okay, so I'm folding it behind the original petal drawing until I've folded it enough times to make my 5 petals. And then I'm going to cut around that one shape, cutting through each piece of paper as I'm doing so. Okay. Alright, check where they're going to go. I'm going to put that one in there. Now these can overlap slightly, which is fine. So those just need to be stuck into place. Okay, I need to mark out the shapes to go in the centre of the flower. For the larger shape, I'm just going to see which of my fingers fits best into that shape. And I would say probably that finger there. So I'm going to take my blue piece of paper first, I'm going to put my finger on the edge, and I'm going to draw around the end of that finger. cut out the shape. Now I've got little corners that are sticking out further than I want them to on the face, so I'm just going to trace along the edge of the skull where I've overlapped the edge of the skull, so that I can just take those little edges off. And just trim those edges off. And that should now fit into the side of the skull and cover the central section of the flower. And then I just need my small orange piece of paper, and that's going to be slightly smaller than my little finger, but I should think if I just go around the edge of my little finger, that should be okay. And what I can do, because I've said it was slightly smaller, is cut to the inside of that shape. Okay. Right, once you've got all your pieces, then we can start to stick them down. So I've already done some for over here. So I'm just going to take my glue and start to stick my petals down on this one. As I said, they can overlap, which is fine. Last one. Okay, that's the petals on, and then like we did with the nose, we put the background colour on first, which is my blue. And then we put the orange on top of that. Right, Year 8, what I'd like you to do by the time we start next lesson is I'd like you to have done the nose, I'd like you to have done some decoration onto the cheekbones, and then what we will do in our final lesson is complete the other sections of embellishment. If you know that you've got quite a lot to cover, try and get some of these extra bits done as well if you get all of this finished well within the time of the lesson. Okay, thank you very much, Year 8. I shall see you for the next lesson.